Hello, guys, and welcome to the unboxing and review of the Hiya Toys Stylist series Godzilla vs. Kong. So this is the vanilla Godzilla that we see in the movie Godzilla vs. Kong back in 2021. So there was a newly announced variation of this figure that's depicting Godzilla in a more atomic breath or atomic blast situation, which his dorsal fins are all translucent blue and there's some blue highlights all over his body. So uh, this is not that version. This is the more normal version. So this is not articulated, and yeah. So let's get over the box, and the box is very uh, the colors are very nice. That's this blue and orange plus yellow tint to it. So it seems like Haya Toys are going for this color palette over their MonsterVerse, or I should say Godzilla versus Kong figures. So I've seen the one that I mentioned, the Atomic Breath version, and the articulated ones, and the statues and figures are all in this uh, color palette. So it's really nice. So I have to shoot this in a far angle because the box is really big. So there's still some space up here that's not being caught by the frame. So here's my hand for scale. So it's a really big box. I don't know I haven't seen what size this is, so I don't think I still don't know how this scales to to other Godzilla figures like SHMA or NECA figures. So, but I have some SHMA and NECA figures here for scale, so you can see it up close later. So here's the box. Here's the front cover. Vanilla Godzilla 2021 at the front. I think this is the actual picture of the figure. Godzilla vs. Kong typography over up here. Stylist series. Logo of Hiya Toys over here. MonsterVerse. So Hiya Toys just announced that they will be doing a full suite of MonsterVerse figures. So that's really nice. So warning labels. Age 15. Plus over here at the side, you get a up front view of Godzilla over here, and the back there's some. I admit this looks the back looks like very cheap Chinese figure uh, toy box layouting. So, but yeah, it's a Chinese toy, so it's very understandable. But I admit the colors are nice and very poppy. So there's some legal information up there, Chinese and produced by Hiya Toys, China. There's some other interesting shots of Goji over here in a more action-packed background. And at the other side, the same figure as same illustration as the other side. So let's open this box up. I'll be bringing the statue closer as I uh, unbox it, because this box is just really big, so I have to accommodate it by putting the box much more farther in the background. So let me fix up my lighting over here. It kinda fell over. That's top of the box. So the unboxing experience is much more like a standard uh, SHMA or SHMA experience, wherein you can see the clamshell style acrylic box. So we can see Godzilla up here. We remove the box, and here's figure himself. So it's a clamshell style boxing. So let me open up. Oh, there's still some tape. So let me remove it out of the tape, and I'll remove the tape and the clamshell. I'll transition to it being in the front, being the figure at the forefront of the frame. So here's the figure unboxed and up close to you. So first impressions are very nice, but I've noticed some criticisms here and there in my first handling of and visual seeing of this figure. So I'll give you guys a tour of the figure first before I say my review and impressions of it. So here's the head. You can see him in a screaming or a roaring pose. Is it up close? Here's his arms. So his pose is kinda, his torso and his upper body is like slanted sideways in a more dynamic pose. So here's the hands. And here's his chest over here. The legs. And the dorsal plates. Let's take a look at up close. Up here. And the package when unboxed, so the tail is separated from the main body, so you have to assemble it, but it's an easy one, so there's not much of a hassle up there. So here's the end of the tail. Again, it's dorsal plates, and the other side. So there's that. So for my initial impressions and review of this guy, so for the head, it seems like a very uh, good sculpt of the Godzilla 2021 appearance. So I think the teeth are very nicely painted, but you can see some of the bleeding and some imperfections in his painting, like over here. So there's like a spot over there that hasn't been painted properly. I think this is chipped or something. And I think the painting of this I may say teeth line over here, it's too clean, like it's too straightforward for looks like he's wearing more of a white lipstick rather than teeth in it itself. But up close it's not that nice, but at a far angle it's much more tolerable. So the inside of the mouth has some nice details over it, nice paint. There's some paint variations over at his tongue. So there's like a darker red paint over the middle of his tongue, and it transitions out to the softer pink details. And there's I would say this is a membrane or a part of his mouth has also a different shade of pink or slash red in his the tongue, and the uh, underside of the tongues also has a like more of a violet-ish color to it. So it's a really nice mouth. It's one of the best mouths I've ever seen in a Godzilla 2021 figure, I must say. So there's the eyes. Oh, it's accurately painted. It seems like it's not looking dumb or something. So it's a real nice paint application over here. Same at this other side. So yeah, that's my impressions of the head. So my first impressions of the entire body and including the dorsal plates, and I think the light gray highlights has been overdone a bit, because seeing him in the movie, he seems like Godzilla 2021 doesn't seem to have like overly highlighted scales and all over that. So I think the one way to solve this is the if Hiya used a darker gray highlight over it, so that the highlights or the scale detail is more subtle than this one. It looks like I what I remember from this kind of appearance that gave way to this highlighting is much more like a Japanese armor, samurai armor that has been layered. So it looks much more like that rather than actual animal or a creature scaling. So I must advise that Hiya must tone down the highlighting and the light wash all over this figure because I think it's a little bit overdone. So here's the hands. I think you can see an example of the highlighting being overdone in this one. So there's a bit of a too much paint over here that has been like spilled. It does not look natural because the other side has a better paint application or highlight application over here rather than here. It's like seems like paint has spilled off on this one, so it's not looking nice right around down here. So for the chest here, I think aside from the paint, so from your impressions of the entire body is, especially the sculpt, it's a really nice sculpt. So for this size and this scale, so I think this is one of the better, if not one of the best sculpts of 2021 Godzilla because all of the proportions seem to be right. His thickness and like folds and the uh, details and scaling all over his body and his dorsal plates are very nice. I'm just bummed that the paint application has been done to much of a exaggerated level. So it's like a the complete opposite of a SH Monster Arts figure where the paint application and the highlighting of the details of the entire figure has been like underdone, so it results in a kind of the clarity and the sharpness of the details has been hidden from when it comes to SHMA figures. In here it seems like it has been overdone. So yeah, here's the legs, so you can see my point over it. It looks like a Japanese samurai armor look from up close because of that highlighting. So same as the other side. So that paint spill effect or accent or QC issue has only been found in this arm, but on the entire body it seems like it hasn't happened or hasn't been an issue. So for the dorsal plate, so of course Godzilla figures are complete without this dorsal plate. So there's an addition of a brownish red or dark red brown application paint application all over the dorsal plate. So you can see it here most. So it's a really nice application of paint, I must say, rather than the overdoneness of the highlighting. So this brownish red paint is a much better uh, paint application. Here's the dorsal plates up close, so there's some real nice sculpting all over here. Same for the other side. For the tail, I think it's a bit shorter than what Godzilla has, but I think it's due to the curvature of the tail that it makes it seems like it's a bit shorter. But I would have done of a longer tail than this, like will extend up to this point or a slightly bit longer. So it seems like Godzilla has a shorter tail in this one. Yeah, that's my impressions and review of the Hiya Toys Godzilla 2021 Stylist series. So I'm not sure if I could review the Atomic Breath version 1. So before I forget, I'll put some size comparisons over so you can see some differences in the height. So I think this is for sure this is bigger than SHMA or NECA figures. So let me pull up my other figures. So here's how he scales with the NECA Burning Godzilla. So if you can see, it's like a body and a head taller than the NECA Godzilla. So this is a nice comparison of the sculpting and the proportion. So 2021 Godzilla is obviously thicker and much more plump than the NECA Godzilla Monsterverse Godzilla proportions. That's the size comparison between the two. So I'll put them much farther so you can see. Here's the front and here's the side. For a much more appropriate size comparison, so here's the SHMA Godzilla 2021. So yeah, the 2020 SHMA scales better with the NECA figure, so it's approximately the same size difference as the NECA one that I showed earlier. So you can see the again the Godzilla Hiya Toys Godzilla Stylist series is much more plump in proportions rather than the regular one. So you can also see the length of the tail that I have been seeing. So in here in SHMA, it seems like it's a it's a longer tail, even if it's bunched up in a curvature rather than this one. It seems like it's a tiny bit shorter. So here's it up front, and here's it at the sides. So there's the size comparisons for the SHMA. As an extra, so if you have def real Godzilla figure, so here's how the scale here's how the size differs between the two. So this is the X plus def real Godzilla 1974 as far as I remember. So here's how he scales with the Hiya Toy Stylist series. So here's up front and here's by the side. So yeah, that's the size comparison with this one. So that's my verdict for the Hiya Toys Godzilla 2021 Stylist series, the more vanilla version. So I think the pros for this one is, of course, the first thing that you will see is the imposing size. So it's a much bigger Goji figure. So another pro is the nice sculpting and the nice details that the highlights show if you're a sucker for more detailed Godzilla figures. So I think this one will scratch your itch for that. So it's also a much heavier figure, so if you like heft in your Godzilla figure, that's also a pro. So for the cons for this one is of course, number one, the paint application for the highlights, so it's a little bit overdone. And number two, if you're an articulated figure collector, so this one might not be for you, because this one is a statue one, so it does not move. His arms or any of his legs would not move, so that's another con. And also the pro of it being a bigger figure can also be a con because of the display space that it can conjure up. So it's a bigger figure, so it needs bigger space, of course, to be displayed in your collection. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this review, and stay tuned for I will be reviewing the articulated version of this Godzilla, the Hiya Toys Godzilla 2021 rendition. So I will review its articulated one. So thank you for watching this video, and I would like to give a shout out to Hobbyist for supplying me this figure. Yeah, goodbye and Goji out.